future society will be people-oriented, and meeting people's various emotional needs will become the source of new business opportunities. Neil Pinker proposed in New Thinking that the 6 senses that the right brain era should possess include a sense of design, storytelling, symphony, empathy, entertainment, and exploration of meaning. And business opportunities lie in the experience of these 6 or even more emotional needs, such as doctors using laughter, yoga, entertainment to heal patients, transforming old factories into modern office spaces with a sense of design, the opening of the Cube era empathy of high school, university, white-collar SNS social network services on the campus network will undoubtedly bring about the reconstruction of industrial boundaries, leading to the emergence of a large number of new industries and former TUS. On the other hand, whether it's the older generation who thinks with the left brain or the new generation who thinks with the right brain, in this comprehensive integration in the era of unity, whoever can represent the interests of the greatest majority will ultimately win. Deng Xiaoping adhered to the 4 cardinal principles, turning right to carry out reform, opening up and marketization, and took the middle path of giving priority to efficiency and giving consideration to fairness, so that China got rid of the ideological struggle and rose rapidly, relying on economic development. The same applies to business opportunities. Whoever can combine left brain and right brain can free from constraints and allow various elements to fuse and collide under the catalysis of creativity and imagination, so that they are no longer just looking for business opportunities, but creating them. The left and right brain connection may open up business opportunities from 3 aspects. One is the application of new technologies in the wave of wisdom, ecological civilization, financial civilization, etc. under the impact of various right-brainization approaches. It will upgrade at a faster pace and become a carrier for generating business opportunities. Secondly, various countries may show their respective skills in seizing the commanding heights of wisdom. For example, the United States has already launched Eric plan to study wisdom. And there are still people in China who want to build smart banks. This trend will make people pay more attention to balancing left and right, and various alternative ideas such as whether software can be downloaded and memorized in the future will bring new business opportunities and sparks. Thirdly, for most enterprises, it is difficult to achieve a left and right brain connection, so it may be the norm to be forced to upgrade the version due to being dragged by the situation. A small number of enterprises with unique thinking will unleash their creative imagination, see through changes in the situation, grasp policy trends, and quickly occupy techno. The conspiracy theory failed in the subprime crisis. It is undeniable that there have been instances in history where certain families or consortia controlled a country or the international financial system for a certain period of time, such as the Rothschild family, the Morgan Consortium, etc. However, in today's global financial integration, Financial strategies between countries and the strategies of multinational consortia are highly likely to hedge or offset each other in the process of implementation, even if the conspiracy is successful. As a member of the international financial system, it is also difficult to stay out of the crisis. Just like Nazi Germany provoked World War II, but was finally destroyed by World War II. Thus, compared with honest labor and to each according to his contribution in industrial economy, financial civilization controls capital with wisdom, but the result is full of uncertainty. And the most important point is that Fukuoka once said before that story is the general equivalent of financial civilization. Its characteristic lies in identifying the differences in things and exaggerating them infinitely. One of the reasons why Britain and the United States can monopolize the forefront of financial civilization is this. For example, when Morgan Stanley opened the door to the non-performing asset market in China's banking industry in the problem faced by the Chinese banking industry was clearly how to reduce the non-performing asset problem in new loans, while Morgan mistakenly described it as how to dispose of existing non-performing assets. In the United States, Morgan's main method of disposing of non-performing assets is clearly to buy them and wait for the recovery of the macroeconomic environment. But in China, they promote the so-called popsicle theory rather than slowly melting them down. It is better to sell them quickly, and for a long time. The U.S. Congress has always regarded real trade as the entire economic issue between China and the United States, and has been working with the White House to reap the benefits one by one. So, it's not just small scammers who are scammers, but big companies, institutions, and countries. As the saying goes, behind every huge fortune lies a profound evil. The financial explosion has brought unprecedented prosperity and high-quality living enjoyment to people. But it has also laid the foundation for injustice, the seeds of sex, uncertainty, and deception, just like the industrial economy. Start from utilizing resources to being limited by them, from creating wealth to wasting wealth. And when a thing develops to its extreme, alienation arises. In this way, it seems easy to imagine the terrifying prospect of a financial civilization that is passionate about storytelling. On the one hand, the alienation of credit. The financial explosion has exploded the connection between tempting interest rates and honest products, such as the bond derivatives market, banking, cement, beer and other enterprises with large sums of money. In just 4 months, 5 foreign institutions directly or indirectly invested in domestic cement-listed companies. However, to some extent, the influx of foreign financial capital, foreign financial institutions will also play a role of catfish effect, accelerating the process of China's financial reform, stimulating Chinese people's original investment awareness, indifference and numbness of the financial concept. Secondly, the currency position difference is too large. The price of a country's currency, also known as the exchange rate, is actually all domestic goods compared to US dollar assets. RMB assets undoubtedly have huge room for appreciation and speculation due to their total bid price. The essence of financial transactions is speculation, and places with stories will naturally attract international financial speculators. The consistent expectation or premeditation of RMB appreciation has caused excess global liquidity to accumulate in China on the one hand, settling on physical assets and resources such as real estate and stock market, th. Arabi triggering various RMB asset protection in China war. On the other hand, the excess funds are driving the innovation and development of financial derivatives such as stock index futures, options, commodity futures, etc., causing China's virtual economy and real economy to grow dually separate, because only through the development of financial derivatives can the connection with the domestic real economy be blocked, creating a space for international speculators to freely speculate and allowing excess currency to evaporate as much as possible, such as the rapidly developing derivatives market in the City of London after the financial bomb. May it avoid domestic real resources being hijacked by international financial capital. The anti-Japanese war itself and the development of the virtual economy mean that China is being pushed into the era of financial civilization by international speculators. Thirdly, the complexity of China's financial sector is very high. This complexity is mainly reflected in different types of A shares, B shares, H shares, etc. Parallel coexistence of stocks and their corresponding rules. The staggered operation of various investment mechanisms such as QFII and QDII. It may even form a coexistence pattern of multiple financial centers such as Hong Kong and Shanghai. However, on the one hand, simpler things are less prone to errors, and more complex things are more likely to have vulnerabilities, which are easily exploited. At present, there is still a long way to go before the game rules in all aspects of China's financial sector are in place. The improvement of the game rules in the stock market itself and the establishment of rules in other financial markets, including futures, options, and other derivative markets, for listing. In 80%, this situation undermines the balance between power and responsibility, thus making the political philosophy of the country the opposite of the trend. The main reason for domestic terrorist incidents to occur is the lack of national social and persona. Responsibility matching refers to the contradiction and conflict of interests among the three parties being greater than harmony and consistency, and the destruction of this trinity relationship still stems from the division of interests and the imbalance between enjoying power and assuming responsibility. If national responsibility is still understood as unlimited joint and several responsibility for all actions, then as much hope as disappointment, national responsibility will be more manifested in providing and ensuring equal opportunities for individuals, and providing transfer payments to some vulnerable groups. In addition, the ability to provide normal channels and platforms for communication and exchange, so that fairness and justice can effectively play a role in handling unfair events, is also a requirement for national responsibility. Social responsibility is reflected in providing individuals with opportunities and conditions for free competition. Only on this basis can individuals have the possibility of equal competition, and only then can they not complain and hate society in the event of failure. The premise for all of this is still that the country is independent of social interests and has a responsibility for national power and borders. A clear definition of the boundary involves a fundamental issue in China's current economic structure: ownership superstition. Breaking this superstition has become the top issue in deepening reform and purifying national motivation. In the process of market-oriented reform in China, the relationship between state-owned assets and private assets does indeed reflect the trend of returning from abroad and advancing with the people. However, national retreat does not necessarily equate to democratic progress, and the weight of the two is not a trade-off in the adjustment process. In fact, the current situation is that state-owned assets are constantly strengthening and consolidating, while private assets are constantly being sacrificed and hovering on the edge. Although the 12th National Congress began to put forward common ownership as the main body and other forms of ownership as beneficial supplements, the National Congress put forward common ownership as the main body and a variety of economic sectors developed together for a long time. The National Congress determined common ownership as the core and non-public economy as an important part of the financial explosion and personality-splitting. Greenspan's memoir The Age of Turbulence came out at a delicate moment. The real estate bubble burst. The subprime crisis is spreading. The answers to irrational behaviors found in the book from the perspective of psychology and anthropology, while they are ultimately rooted in human nature. The tendency to turn from excitement to fear has not only become the best footnote to this crisis, but more importantly, it also inadvertently revealed that although Greenspan has been in charge of the Federal Reserve, which represents the authority of rationality, for years, his heart is full of fear for irrationality and powerlessness for foam. What a great split this is! In fact, when it comes to human personality, most people will believe in its innate and unchanging characteristics. But from agriculture, the evolution of the three-character classic from the well-known concept of human nature is inherently good at the beginning, similar in nature, but far apart in habits to the industrial civilization's concept of human nature is like jade, and both nature and emotions can be shaped undoubtedly. Y highlights the dynamic and malleable aspect of human nature. In other words, the production and lifestyle styles under different cultures play an extremely important role in shaping the character of people living in them. For example, in the agricultural economy, the production method of relying on the weather for food and the exchange method of physical objects such as gold and silver as general equivalents bring about a social civilization characterized by honest labor and self-restraint, accompanied by the mechanized production mode of the industrial economy. and the exchange method of currency, paper currency, as the general equivalent. There has been a great expansion of human subjectivity, distortion caused by a single working method, and diversification brought about by the symbolization of value standards. Human personality has also become rich and complex. With the accelerated evolution of civilization, the evolution of this personality that originally belonged to several generations is becoming increasingly concentrated, shrinking to a generation, especially in the short span of nearly half a century. Information civilization and financial civilization have successively arrived, and profound changes in production and lifestyle, as well as various new features, are all impacting people's original thinking habits and behavioral concepts, and even subtly changing people's personalities themselves. Firstly, a major characteristic of financial civilization is irrational prosperity. From the price-to-earnings ratio to the market-dream ratio, which refers to don't focus on performance or value principles, just dream-like growth expectations. For example, the stock price of LMZ, which is mainly engaged in toothpaste, once soared to yuan, because its holding of about % shares of CITIC securities gave people huge The mystery of DIY financing. For many years, German companies have not only rarely raised funds in the credit market but also are not enthusiastic about listing financing. Instead, they prefer internal financing or self-financing, and generally adopt the do-it-yourself's own financing strategy. According to estimates by Detzer and Hein, the proportion of endogenous financing in German corporate capital formation was close to % in and even exceeded % in, with the negative contribution from external financing. This is in contrast to the widespread dependence of China's enterprises, including state-owned enterprises, on external financing and the existence of financing thirst. Affected by this, the leverage ratio of the German corporate sector remained below %, significantly lower than that of other major economies. However, the leverage ratio of the Chinese corporate sector significantly increased to a high level, as shown in the figure. Leverage ratio of major economies' corporate sectors since Source Bank for International Settlements. The basic premise for a preference for self-financing or low dependence on external financing is its strong profitability ability. Affected by factors such as Eurozone dividends and strong industrial competitiveness, Germany has maintained a huge trade surplus for a long time. Non-financial enterprises continue to maintain strong profitability with a return on equity of over % annually. See picture. Possessed strong self-hematopoietic ability. At the same time, German enterprises, especially small and medium-sized enterprises, emphasize moderation and a weak tendency towards moderate-scale expansion. The financing demand is not high. The annual average growth rate of operating revenue for non-financial enterprises in Germany was in slightly higher than Germany's nominal GDP growth rate of 6% during the same period. The combination of strong hematopoietic capacity and weak financing demand means that German companies can basically meet their financing needs solely by relying on internal financing, and the demand for external financing is not high. This